pseudo expected top team coming in. This one can be very important to seeing how they move forward. And now we're going to get to see, was the Nard the misfit coming out for Weibo, or did something go on TES' side?
ZDZ looked very boisterous right there. I don't know what he was saying, but he looked like he was being real loud.
He's keeping it to 4 champs. Has only played on these 4, is really just keeping to the strong blinds and Rumble something, you know, that gives you presence up in that top side. But now it's about finding what 80 carry they'd want to go to. Again, I'm not seeing too much paired with the Ashe Jhin, something we've seen, Draven, something we had earlier. I would be really shocked if we had a Sivir.
I see a lot of thinking going in here, a lot of conversation being had. It's the Sivir locked in here, and that will be a first for JackeyLove in the spring split.
That's our first. It's our first Sivir of the split coming through. But now having this ult, they really need some kind of front line if they have any hope of looking for fights. So I think the Rel would make a lot of sense. Now able to run them down, try and find a big Magnet Storm on top of them. But still, you are very squishy. So far, Weibo, all 4 of the champions have CC to try to stop you from running them down and then be able to take you on in the fight.
You've heard of the double marksman composition. I'm showing you the triple marksman composition. And the ultimate counter to that is a very aggressive jungler that wants to get resets. And XiaoHao locks in the power pick of the Viego.
So we are going to get the Maokai support. We've already had it once so far. Iwandi picked it up and went 0-8-0. So not having the best time in the LPL off that 1-game sample size. But like I said, running into Weibo's comp is so hard. So many ways to lock you down. So many good setups for XiaoHao to take advantage, look for the resets, and really take over the game. So where TS are just exploding with damage, exploding with push, right? All 3 of their lanes should be able to have pressure. So the game plan might just be very similar to what TS did in game 1. If Weibo doesn't make the mistakes, can they find as much of a lead? I don't know, but they definitely have the tools to push and pressure Weibo's comp in that first 10 minutes.
Yeah, I mean, I think Top Esports looking for some big engages off of 2 primary members, and the fact that Tian and Meiko are going to be the only ones that can really hit the go button. A lot of follow-up to that. They got to hit the go button first. And I know Weibo, they're definitely feeling this one, right? Like, a lot of things going right for them early in the split, but it's been hard. It has been dragging out series, fighting tooth and nail, and they find themselves at 3-1. Now, this is a singular game that could see them going off in disappointment into Chinese New Year, but it's also a wonderful time for a miraculous comeback as we're neck deep into our spring gala here in the 2024 LPL Spring Split. We are into game number 2 between Top Esports and Weibo Gaming, and it should be a bloody fest. Crowd kicking it up here for game number 2 of this one, and speaking of kicking it up, we do have a little bit of difference. I don't feel like the Sivir Ashe is a typical bot lane that we were expecting, and Top Esports having a little bit of play with the meta right now in the triple marksman comp.
Yeah, I mean, if they get on the turrets, they are just going to destroy them, whittle them down, but that is the question, can they? Again, they're going to be really looking to push that from level 1, from go, using range advantage in bot lane, using the fact that you're starting to get that push. Rumble the same. We already highlighted Rumble having some nerfs on this patch. Q damage being hit a little bit. The amount of MR that's shredded from the harpoons as well, taking a bit of a hit. Still going to be in a position where is still a very useful champion, especially if they can set him up for equalizers well.
ZDZ almost took a really bad drink of his drink right there. Just say I saw him like put his drink up and he took a drink, and then 369 walked up, he like slammed it down on the ground. Little differences. But I think this top lane is going to come into effect later on. A little bit like our first series where we're talking about what kind of game impact, team impact will these top laners have. I think that's very important to keep highlighting as we move forward, because the spotlights will be on everywhere else on the map.
Yeah, especially for the side of TES. I think for Weibo, you know, kind of the traditional mid-jungle, I have a bit more attention on that than I feel like I would TS's side of the matchup. We can already see in the mini-map, Tristana having, you know, heavy presence in mid, already getting that push. JackeyLove and Meiko, of course, going to be able to zone them out with their autos. So he's still going to have a lot that Tian's able to do. I wonder if he's going to actually try and wrap his way in and pressure in the enemy blue side jungle, or if he will just make his way back up to his top side camps. If it was like BLG, I think they would for sure look to aggress in enemy jungle. TS have been a little bit more reserved in terms of their decision making, but we can see Tian heading that way now.
And XiaoHao also heading that way, just pinging through his blue side jungle though, and Tian's gonna start up the blue buff. XiaoHao bypassing what he was pinging and spotting out Tian doing his blue. Doesn't really have a way because Weibo's bot lane, level 1 still, and JackeyLove and Meiko can roam. Oh, see.
Yeah, just trying to find the damage for him. I mean, trying to go for the proxy, but 369 is going to make his life a living hell.
Well, we got a party bot lane. That's what we wanted. Did everybody bring snacks? Did we got drinks for everybody? I feel like we're set up.
I gotta say, it's kind of sad because I feel like
they didn't get it.
Doesn't get it.
Gets it.
I feel like Top Esports and Weibo compared their parties because, right, TS are going for like a very similar invade that we saw Weibo do in the first game, except Weibo's TS were able to keep their bot lane ahead, unlike Weibo in that first invade, right? So, you know, I gotta say, TS have had a much better party, much better snacks, more variety in the beverages.
The buttercream frosted cupcakes instead of like the artificial frosting cupcakes.
I can't stand frosting. Oh, Crisp can't stand it either. He has to flash away.
I love it though. Like, TS are literally just mind gaming Weibo right now. They just forced them to presence around bot side for like an entire minute just because Tian was standing there.
even we see in the corner, right? Xiaohu taking such a bad trade, he had to recall. He had to use his TP to get back to lane first. Was just matched by Creme, who will come back with boots and a null magic mantle, so going to give him a bit more defensive tools. But yeah, a very similar start where TS forcing summoners so early in these lanes. I will at least say we're not no kills to run across right now, like giant CS leads. Hell, if anything, it's ZDZ who's pressuring 369 on this rumble.
And it's a nice difference, I feel like, and something where ZDZ is probably riding home a little bit more happily about that, trying to take it to 369. Seemed definitely like a little bit of a shortcoming there last time around, but it felt like a holistic shortcoming for Weibo in last game. Which, a lot more stable without the level 1 shenanigans, at least so far. But XiaoHao will end up taking a nice little skirmish into Tian, and this is where XiaoHao succeeds.
And now having Xiaohu right alongside him, right, going to be able to bring a bit more with those tangle barbs. They are going to decide to not go for it in the end. But you were saying you wanted to see some love for the Grubs in game 1. Looks like XiaoHao is doing just that right now.
Yeah, I mean, he was already up here, realizes he won the skirmish against Tian. He can absolutely go ahead and take one of those at least. Tian, realizing he has started those up, is going to come to contest.
Okay, but Crisp on his way. Actually, both supports. We might get a
level 6.
We might get a full-on 4v4 here.
Yeah, Xiaohu having that pop blossom is really big. 369 not going to have the equalizer, though. Is a little dicey. Meiko has made it. Crisp on his way, too.
Yeah, and now all 5 members of Weibo here, so you have to call this off as TES. Start moving away. Let your super push out in bot to 9 more CS. Luckily for Light, he looks like he's going to get there before he really loses out on anything. So overall, just rotating their Varus up really did cement all 3 Grubs going over to Weibo.
He lost 1 minion, Lyric. What is he going to do?
No, I mean, you know, after seeing game 1, that actually might be the end of it all for him. That might be the end of it all for him.
I don't know about that one. That was pretty funny though. it was a crazy game last game. Oh my goodness. We do have at least the top side focus for the Grubbies. Dragon is up on the other side, and with presence like this from Top Esports and Tian already on his way down here, I expect that to be their next focus.
Yeah, that's what they're going to need to do, right? The fact that they thought it'd be a 4v4 that they were willing to take, which is why they dedicated so many resources to top, and it just outright trade for the Dragon to begin with. But they're going to maintain this presence, which is going to make it much harder for XiaoHao to find his way in.
I also just put 2 and 2 together. I don't know why I did this before, but the reason why Top Esports' party is better is because they brought pizza. JackeyLove has the pizza skin, and Weibo doesn't have pizza.
You're right. You know, even if you dislike pizza for any reason, every party does need one. But now I want to see if we're going to have a party around the bot lane. As top laners look to 1v1 too.
Oh, he's walking. He's just walking right out. He wants the healing right there as well. He does end up getting the last 2 as Equalizer just picking him away. Dragon did end up getting started up and taken out by Weibo.
So much better early game coming for Weibo this time, having both neutral objectives in the early game. 369 though.
A little stutter step, I love it.
Yeah, just try to make ZDZ's life hard, but right. So kind of moving back to bigger picture, it doesn't matter that we've had TS draft such strong lane matchups. They haven't really been able to turn it into anything. They've maintained push, but haven't really found leads anywhere. Small lead in bot, but that had been made up for by the detriment that 369 had been in up until he just pushed ZDZ out.
And that was the conversation that we've continuously brought up, is like the difference in play style that we've seen unlocked already for both these teams so far. You're talking about how quickly Top Esports play. Well, this is a little bit of a difference for them, even though it's not to that 14-minute mark just yet.
Yeah, and TS are weird. One thing I say, I could their champion kills per minute being the highest was a bit surprising to me, because they're a fast team at being willing to apply pressure and like push for areas of control they want, but they aren't a team that necessarily overcommits too much for a kill. See what they commit here.
Trying to commit to a kill to ZDZ. He is just Udyr though. He's probably just gonna get pushed out of here.
Oh, doesn't
Putting
connect.
back. Yeah, I mean, I don't know if this is a fight Top Esports wanted. I don't remember if, or I don't know if they remembered what Udyr does, because now XiaoHao can come over and ZDZ can just run at 369. He's not gonna go down. A beautiful Magnet Storm from Tian, but he might have just sacrificed his life. He's gonna flash at least, and it's Xiaohu who ends up coming to get the payback.
I feel bad. I just said TS haven't been a team that really overextend for kills that often as they used to, right? But my God,
cast of curse, cast of curse, cast of curse.
they've been so tempered so far in this game. But now, just not able to connect the crash down, right? Onto ZDZ opens up for the counter gang. Does give Creme a bit of free time with mid lane turret, but Xiaohu has TP, so he's going to be able to get there before any real damage is done.
Oh, we get the engage there. Chains of Corruption got completed there for Light. Meiko now taking it all. The flash comes through. Weibo's bot lane is starting to cut. As now, oh, I don't know if Light takes that one. JackeyLove, it feels like we're deja vu. It's a 2-0 start for the ADC at Top Esports. And Xiaohu, he wants to make sure that's going to be a 2-1 start if he can find the angle. The Tangle Bar, no, it's the Pop Blossom, can't connect. And JackeyLove is out of there.
2-0-0 on Sivir. I mean, now is when you got to get a little bit antsy about such a big AD carry coming out after what we saw in Game 1. Light did manage to pick up a kill for himself, though. As we're going to get the replay here of the chase down on top side, right? They get the sums earlier on. Now they're hoping they can land it. The crash down doesn't connect. ZDZ gets the stuns on through, and look at the mini now. Diego already making his way up with no equalizer, no real way to keep damage onto the members of Weibo. They could just easily run this down.
Tian is pretty clutch with that Magnet Storm, though, at least trying to save out his top laner's life. Does end up not giving that soul reset over at first, but then here, I mean, JackeyLove is just cutting him to pieces.
And I mean, everything used right away onto the Ashe, right? Q, ult, E, everything thrown out. The flash there too. Now having nothing to follow up. JackeyLove having the Noon Quiver at this point, just able to shred them.
Just throwing pizza at him. Look how many pizzas were bouncing between them over and over again. We actually get the denial here. At least one grub taken by Tian. See if they want to go back in for another fight, because that would be 5 actually just gotten by Weibo.
Now it seems, especially in top, ZDG just maintaining more pressure than 369. So gonna have to back off, but still, I think it's fine that they're able to prevent the 6. Meaning, you at least don't have the giant army of knights. If a push does happen, you get like a small boy band of knights. A lot more manageable.
Is it like an orchestra?
I was kind of thinking of I don't know why, because we're obviously casting LPL, not LCK, but I don't know why I thought of K-pop band.
Okay. I see you.
I feel like League of Legends and K-pop, just, the communities they just exist side by side.
I guess. I see your point. TS trying to make a point for mid lane. Creme does a heckin' good job at taking down those turrets. He's looking at a plate at least. The play is down bottom side, though, for Top Esports, as they were looking for Crisp and XiaoHao.
I do kind of want to bring our attention to items for a second, though, because Xiaohu having the rocket belt, that's going to give him a lot more impact in trying to find JackeyLove and Meiko on this backline and really create some explosive plays with Kraken Slayer. Therefore, JackeyLove. So if you see Weibo being overzealous for any kills in bot lane, we're only going to see a worse 1v2 than what happened before.
Yeah, the Kraken Slayer does so much for the Sivir already, and it's just going to get worse as time goes on. But the thing is XiaoHao being at a good point is really important for Weibo because he will have that access on a JackeyLove, and I think that's super important to keep in mind. Also, Weibo stacking up their dragons pretty nicely here. They've done a really good job of taking neutral objectives so far. Five of the Grubs and 2 dragons already.
And even with JackeyLove being a bit accelerated, and you know maybe some other like Creme's going to be hitting his first item soon, some of this, Weibo's really going to be hitting their stride with right around when that next dragon comes up, right? Ghostblade now finished, Rocket Belt I already highlighted was done. So when a lot of these big burst tools come out, and look at TES, you really only have the Rel. It's going to be able to tank any of this damage. They're going to have to be the ones on the front foot with Meiko's arrows once again.
I think also Viego plus Sundered Sky equals just too much of a dirty combo. He gets so much healing early on with those 1 autos plus the passive and the way his sword works. But you got to think about the utilization of these item spikes for Weibo and how they can try to do it. Because they're getting sieged down pretty heavily on this bottom side because of the amount of marksman capability that top esports are bringing.
Yeah, just too much range. We saw them try to play around that last time. Is Tian? Mike, it's okay. Everything should be fine, but we saw Weibo tried to play around that last time by having a decisive engage. Sadly, just didn't work out for them. So trying to keep more members here. Oh, that was so close.
Meiko wishes that he watched Wanted a couple more times. He wanted to bend the bullet.
You know, Mazel, I gotta say the reference right over my head. Right over my head.
You've never seen Wanted?
Nope.
The whole thing about the movie is about bending the bullet, so you can like curve a bullet. It's really dumb. But, you know, it was a good moment. All right, any fans out there, well, you know, give a shout out. But speaking of, it is Weibo being a fan of this Rift Herald pit and the continued objective focus they've had. We'll get the Scuttle Crab out in front and maybe look for this objective.
Okay, at least I know apparently not to watch Wanted. Creme, though.
It's not that bad.
I mean,
he gets to bend a bullet, okay? If you ever want to see a bullet not go straight, there you go.
So it has its purpose, but to bring us back into the game that I just took us away from, Creme also has a purpose. Destroying, demolishing this turret down in bot lane. Xiaohu standing in front of Creme's 1 life goal.
Oh, Creme jumps in on him, and now he's under tower. Creme scratching my head.
Yeah, I'm a bit confused by that one. And now Weibo gets more objectives for free.
Oh, Tian, that's a really big equalizer. CDC has no way out of that one but just to tank it.
And okay, Weibo now Weibo have Herald say, okay, TS, now you get to push them in, but what does that mean? Weibo at first move, they're already making their way back now to deny that play from coming through. They have another Herald, they found another kill in bot. And yeah, some circusy moments coming through this far.
That was very curious. I'm surprised Creme just didn't take the pop loss and he decided he wanted to jump closer to it. He wanted to hug shot. That's what he did.
Yeah, I was gonna say if he had been trying to channel that in the opposite direction.
If he doesn't, he's not in tower range. Like if he doesn't do that,
I know, just ends up going down. Xiaohu finds that one, pops the emote, all for good fun. But now we get Weibo taking even more on the map. This is gonna be their first turret of the game. They haven't managed to pick that up just because of the lane matchups we did have in mid and bot early on. But now we're gonna get to see if ZDZ can't finish it off.
Pretty Chad McChad right there, though. Just stepping at 369 the whole way there. Weibo are going to at least have an advantage to play off of. A lot different to speak of that first game. Feels like this is actually a contestable moment for Weibo as well. And the composition speaks to itself, right? They're leaning on XiaoHao's strength of being a very aggressive, carry-focused jungler and trying to play around that.
Yeah, and I think their composition is just more straightforward, right? More simple than how TS are going to have to react. They're going to have to be a lot more careful, like walking into spaces, around corners. If, an ult from Chris can come out or Xiao can find a way in. Even just in terms of being able to kite back, peel, save some of your mobility spells like your Sivir ult, like your Rocket Jump for Creme. Just like every decision is going to be more meaningful for TS with the comp that they have.
And there's just a lot more options for them. Crisp is looking at a flank here. I don't think he's going to get spotted out until it's too late. 369 also on a flank. TES in some trouble here. They try to go on the light. Tian's going to stop the engage, but here comes the Nature's Grasp. Equalizer comes across, but Xiaohu's already picked off Meiko. Now Tian is going down too to a double kill to Xiaohu. And Xiaohao goes in, gets the reset on ZDZ's killed JackeyLove. And it's Weibo running away with this one here now, as now Creme goes too far in. He's trying to get the reset, but he's not going to have enough gas in the tank. And Weibo find themselves a monumental lead.
It's the complete opposite of game one now. Weibo acing TES. Not going to put themselves in sole point. ZDZ still pushing mid. They are controlling the map right now.
I called it when we came in. It's a 6-game night. I'm a fortune teller for the LPL. It feels like lately, at least. As ZDZ's Meiko's really mad they lost that last fight. I'm just saying, he's chasing him down there.
He went from picking up an MVP to not connecting an arrow. And how long? When was the last time we saw an Enchantress or a Star fight? Has been a little bit disappointing. And you pointed out, right, Meiko's really the one that they have to depend on to start off a fight. Like, even though Tian's on a rel, it's not like you really could just run at a Varus and a Meiko. They're not going to let that happen.
Oh, I'm just so curious at this draft from Top Esports for this game. Just feels like a little bit of question mark with a triple marksman composition. And we see Weibo pretty fine after that engage goes wide.
Exactly, right? I mean, the Enchantress arrow needs to hit there. You need to find that pick to not get turned on. Now we just see, again, the lack of front line, the lack of real way to buy space for the carries. Great entry from Xiaohu there on the Meiko to make sure that Weibo can take over. Doesn't matter if Creme can find one. I can't believe how aggressively he's using these summoners. And like this, you will definitely die no matter what you do here scenario. Probably better to have that one up for next time.
Yeah, I've been a little curious at some moves from Creme so far for sure. But hey, you know, it's all in good fun. It is also now a very fun moment for Xiaohu, who's sitting at 4-0 on the Nico. Already has the Storm Surge completed there as well, and it's just a deadly combo with XiaoHao on the Viego. They also still have the Rift Herald, which they'll go ahead and pop down in bot lane now.
Yeah, I'm going to use that one, and like you're saying, right now that Xiaohu's huge with these items, I mean, first is Viego's best friend to start setting him up for those resets, and now Weibo have plenty of it. Going to be able to take another turret off this and keep pushing out. We can even see on the minimap ZDZ covering top before Creme's able to get anything done himself. And hey, you know, Weibo has... arrow doesn't connect. Weibo, TS have the fastest game time for a reason, right? Sure, they might have won fast, but also in some of their losses, they have just gotten completely decimated. I mean, to be fair, right, their one-loss series is against BLG, so that one could be a bit more expected, but still, I feel like TS have always been a team that have known to kind of either explode or just explode in a good or a bad way. There we go.
I guess, hey, yeah, they can. It can happen both ways. All right, it can happen both ways.
They can explode you, or you know, they could explode themselves. Usually, it's the first one.
I think we've seen that happen a couple times. We do have a little bit of good test here. I want to focus a little. It's not nearly as gone as last game was, and I do think there's some saving graces to having so much damage potential in Top Esports. The problem is you've given a lot of advantage to a very heavy engage style composition.
Exactly. I feel like you really just set it up perfectly of like, hey, well, where can we even look at for TS? I feel like the problem is without their comp being the one in control, I mean, it's so hard to walk in. At least you have the hawk shots, but even then it's like, what could you really do? You can't just send Tian in by his lonesome, so you're going to have to wait for someone of Weibo to overstep, even if just by a little bit, to open up with the Enchanted Crystal Arrow and then follow through with an Equalizer, and potentially Creme following in with the Rocket Jump with Tian. So I feel like even some of your best options are a little bit dependent on how Weibo are able to play through.
And I do wonder if that means that the way that we approach game 3, if we get to that point, obviously, is a lot different, right? We've seen the prevalence of the Ashe, and it's night and day, game 1 to game 2, right? And I think that is a big conversation to have moving forward, where it's a pick that has been consistently taken off the board, but now we're seeing some variances of this type of composition that's not working as well.
And I feel like if they just could have had like another frontliner, even pseudo frontliner, if it would have been a tank change in support role. But you know, Ash was their first pick. So in my mind, that's one of the less flexible ones. But even imagine if this had a different frontline and topside, right? Sure, it would be very heavily indexed into AD, but still, you can buy things like Lord Doms. You can have the damage to be able to hit frontline later on if you have triple marksman. So. Yeah, we're going to see now, because they still do have enough burst to just absolutely delete Light or Xiaohu.
I do love that it's just the copycat build from Creme and JackeyLove. Just the more is it the crack.
Yep.
I think they have different boots, okay, so they look a little different. But we do have Dragon coming up soon, and got to see some priority from top esports there.
Crit Bloom now in the hands of 369, so gonna have a bit more pen, a bit more utility coming out with that heal too. And TS, no, they need to fight this. This will be soul.
It's a mountain soul too. Oh my goodness, 369. It's just gonna make them have to engage. Now Xiaohu, he goes in, triple pop blossom on top of it all. And as soon as Weibo get to the back line, they are left in tatters. As Meiko's the only one here as doing any damage. A triple kill goes to XiaoHao. And I think top esports forgot what happens when bruisers end up landing on a back line, as that means a quadra comes out for Weibo Gaming and a Baron on top of it all.
I mean, what could you do? Aced 2 fights in a row, TS. Can't do anything. Even now, taking Baron while still having ZDZ pushed down in bot. Gonna jump right into the replay because 369 just gets caught out by ZDZ. Doesn't expect it coming, has to drop the equalizer right away. But just even look at things like the ult being dropped from Chris to lock a lot of these guys down. Great pop blossom coming from Xiaohu. They're just being corralled and hoarded into such a small area where a lot of the like AoE CCs and abilities from Weibo's comp can come to fruition.
And I hate to harp on it, but I'm seeing it time and time again what having 3 squishy damage dealers does to your composition. You have literally no stability on your roster right now to try to fight off this. And now with the lead where it is, I mean, that's just a free mountain soul to Weibo, which makes a triple marksman comp even that much harder to execute.
And again, I mean, I guess it's more like 4 squishy. I guess it wouldn't all be damage dealers, right? Because you don't expect the Ashe to deal a lot of damage, but still, it's just, yeah, like you're saying, a lot of damage, not a lot of frontline, not a lot of CC either. So a lot of that utility, a lot of those tools that you would hope for to win out through fights aren't there.
Like, imagine the glee that ZDZ, XiaoHao, and Crisp have playing this game right now. Like, literally, they could just pull the trigger on their ult and they're probably going to kill someone.
Yeah, they do have a lot, especially now. I mean, we said, right, XiaoHao has been a stud now for years. And now finally it feels like he's on a roster of the caliber that he deserves, that he's already been showing us.
Still my favorite moment in our new trailer is the crying into serious face into XiaoHao with Xiaohu combining on the screen. I think it's been a long time coming for XiaoHao and finally getting the rightfully due. Creme's not going to get the third. She said he really wants it though. Ends up taking it, but Xiaohu might have the angle here with XiaoHao. The combo, there it is. We saw it on the screen. Now we see it in Summoner's Rift too, and Creme will go down. Yeah,
tries his best. And this is something I like about TES, but also we were talking about Weibo earlier, just top teams in general. When you're falling so far behind, you need to do something. You need to try and create some kind of opening and not just bleed out or just wait for this Mountain Soul team to take you down. So I appreciate the effort of trying to create something there, but Weibo being disciplined. Push out in mid. Now they're all going to collapse on top side. You have your Nico catching waves in bot. Xiaohu has TP. He can join up at any time if he's needed.
JackeyLove almost at 300 CS spike there, but I don't know if it's going to matter. He actually gets Bramble Smash to safety by Chris.
Yeah. That would have killed him.
And top esports respond with a mid lane play on the ZDZ.
Yeah, so sending 369 from trying to answer in bot to what Xiaohu would have pushed and using him to find something in mid, but like you're saying, the kind of anti-synergy there from Chris and Light. I think Light would have 100% had that kill with that Q. Ends up not going in their way. Still, Weibo going to be at a huge gold lead, as we're going to see here. Actually, to commit the TP because ZDZ pushed up so far, and that's how they brought him down.
That's the extra speed there. ZDZ trying to use the minions, but actually 369 starting to cook him a little bit there with some damage potential.
Crypto Bloom, Leandri's already there. There's going to be doing it. I mean, right, that's one thing the TS's comp isn't lacking. And we've been saying, hey, where's Frontline? Where's CC? Where's this? Where's that? Where's the pizza? Where's the burgers? I don't know. But they have the damage. So many, like, just seriously, Creme, 369, JackeyLove. If one misstep happens from Weibo, someone walks a little too far forward. We're at a point now. I know JackeyLove already got a third item with the LDR. Looks like still waiting a little bit on Creme to hit that same spike. But they're even going to be, you know, doing quite a bit to members like ZDZ now, too.
But that's the problem. It's like you could just straight up deny 3 members of damage, it feels like, of TS if you just go some armor. Randuin's completed for both ZDZ and XiaoHao, and that's going to put some rain on the parade of a triple marksman.
And you know what? You have an umbrella named 369 who's going to get them through the tough times.
I see. You mean more like a flamethrower?
Yeah. Hey, you know, if you evaporate the water before it hits the ground, did it ever really rain at all?
Yo, somebody get on this. Like, yeah, that's the next tech. Just make an umbrella that's a flamethrower that shoots upwards. It's fine. It's perfect.
But if someone actually does this, I want a small cut of 80%.
a small
cut
loan of 80%. Anyways, I was gonna say they just need to collapse on a Xiaohu here, and they do that. He's gonna go down. The rest of Weibo here as cavalry charging in, and the cavalry is backed by force here as they catch the back line as they're running away. JackeyLove run down as Top Esports turn around. Chains of Corruption connects with the flash play from Light. And Weibo are cleaning house now. That's a big equalizer back in. Tian with a nice little magnet storm through it all. And I don't know if Creme can make it out alive. It's Tian over the wall too. XiaoHao's going down. 369 turning it all around and throwing up those nines. That's Top Esports. A quadra kill for the top laner.
If Top Esports win this game, this guy better get MVP for that equalizer, turning the fight and making miracles happen.
And cool as a cucumber on a summer's morning, it feels like. Just easy does it from this man who finds his home yet again with Top Esports.
We were already talking about TS are at a point where they have the burst to take out isolated members. But look here, with ZDZ coming from one side, Light and XiaoHao already making it so far forward, they can just pinch on these members of TES. And sadly, this whole time, 369 did not have TP because of what we saw in the last replay. The TP mid, great ult comes out from the bars. But this equalizer is perfect.
It's literally, and Tian pulls the trigger on the magnet storm as soon as he sees that go down. The fact that after that, it felt like TS were running out of gumption. 1,000 gold shutdown, by the way, to 369. But the fact that he sticks with it and finds all of that. I mean, this man just completed like 2 full items off that, and rightfully so, the cheering in the back line.
And now moving over to Bear.
Oh my God.
Wait, we don't even know. Wait, we don't
And they
even read
burn it
this.
so fast. It's 3 EDCs. What is happening, Lyric? It is literally a Top Esports lead off of Weibo's extreme miscalculation.
Maybe Weibo don't know how to play up the game if they aren't at a massive gold lead at 15 minutes. That's the only thing I can wrap my mind around. Like, usually they're the team doing this to everybody else.
My God, Top Esports. We were calling Weibo gritty for their wins. I would say this is the grittiest performance of all. Look at that gold grab. That should not happen. It's almost an 8.5K gold swing.
Yeah, and now having the Baron, having the triple marksman, having the range, they're gonna be able to further this even more. But it does feel like this might even potentially just come down to Elder. Unless Weibo go for an engage here. Let's remember, with having that Mountain Soul, like, they still are incredibly strong.
Yeah, they are. And that's the thing about this marksman composition. You lock one down, well, that's the difference maker here as well. As Elder is still picking around here. You do have that execute available for you. But not going to find the siege potential. And this is where some of that burning is coming out to bite them. It feels like Weibo having so much further ahead already for a lot of the game. Now we have to see them try to reset mental and get back.
Still, though, TS not able to find more before this Elder times out. Could be a bit rough. Again, that Mountain Soul going to be permanent. It's going to continue to be there. Still, though, I am happy that Weibo weren't as overzealous as I thought they'd be and like go for an engage mid. Are gonna play safe, are gonna wait for this one to time out, and we're gonna be on somewhat even footing going into the next fight because hell, all of Weibo aren't just gonna line up like that twice for 369.
Still have the Elder for 5 seconds, trying to get a little poking damage done, but not gonna find anything else of it. They still have the Baron up for a minute, so they'll try to siege down this bottom side too.
Going for the push now, at least not having to worry about that execute anymore.
Yeah, we're gonna have the access here. Xiaohu has everything available to him. He can find the big Pop Blossom. Again, if Weibo find access onto JackeyLove and Creme, it is GG lights out for top esports.
I will say Creme now does have a GA, so a bit more survivability there. But still, it might not mean too much because if he goes down, you assume the rest of TS are gonna follow suit. And then you're just going to have this Tristana coming out of GA by herself.
And Cristolero goes wide. They were trying to utilize the last of this Baron buff. 15 seconds left on it, and the siege concludes as the dust settles, my friend Lyric. It is top esports with an almost 4,000 gold lead off the back of that singular play.
It's definitely a nice gold swing back in their favor, but it feels like we're at the point, right, where execution, like a misstep here, maybe a good word from someone that's spotting someone out, like, these are going to be the real things that define where this game goes. And, you know, we pointed out the GA for Creme, but also highlighting the Bloodthirster for JackeyLove to be able to survive through a lot of this poke for light. So both of these marksmen having survivability already bought up.
369 just going straight for the AP too. I mean, that, like I said, he completed like 2 items off that one quadra kill play he had. He went straight for the Rabadons and with the Shadow Flame as well. So a lot of damage coming actually from 369. The TP, oh my god, they're going to catch CDZ here. No way, they're actually going to do it. This is a big pick out against Weibo if they can do it. And Chance of Crystal Arrow, beautiful moves from ZDZ. He saves his team.
Yeah, Creme not wanting to use the Buster shot there, I think it makes sense. Could have been a little bit awkward if he just shot him over that wall and no one else close to follow up, and then he just still runs out through topside. Still did utilize the TP there to where all ZDZ used is a ghost.
Oh my god, that was a big chunk on a JackeyLove. We have about 1 minute and 15 seconds for an Elder Dragon. This will be our second of the game.
Sadly, is nothing to sustain on unless he runs all the way over to Krugs. We'll have to wait for another wave to come through, but Weibo, I like it, getting deep vision in, having Xiaohu wait around this angle. Need to not get baited by not only the Nico, but the similar names as well.
Just watch out for that one. It's a slippery one. I do see a reset now in the eyes of top esports, trying to get back out on the map because they have about 45 seconds for the Elder.
You know, I've been under the assumption for the past few minutes that this has been game 3 and both teams won.
Nope,
and
this
I
is
come
game
back
2,
to reality.
baby.
Yeah, this is still game. How have we ended up here? Full control now. Over for Weibo. Xiaohu, is he going to get spotted early?
Oh, he got spotted at the last second.
So not going to be able to have that crazy flank, at least from that angle. Now top esports going to be conscious of River, but CDC might get caught out first.
This is the marksmans are in the wrong position. JackeyLove gets Pop Blossom, but he's still fighting. Crypt Bloom's starting to proc across multiple members, but XiaoHao's already gone. Tian and 369 are pulling the weight of top esports, and Crisp is being burned just like his namesake. One more harpoon to the back of the tree, and in goes the infection that top esports has planted.
I love it. 369 is refusing to lose this game. Dragon still on the cards. How are Weibo preventing it from moving in? There's only 2 of them.
Biggest thing if XiaoHao is not around, Tian is. Creme coming back as well, back out on the map. It's going to have to be some miraculous defense from Weibo because they've got full frontal aggression ready to go.
Yeah, they're gonna make their way. We already have the Rumble TP in.
Oh, ZDZ got baited. He thought they were going after Light, but they actually go after him. He's gonna have to get out of this one. He's getting burned. It's 369 coming in clutch again. Tian over on the Light, and Creme cleans him up. That's an Elder Dragon number 2 for top esports.
So they're going to be able to pick this up. Sadly, Weibo are making their way to mid, so those waves are going to get cleared. If not, this could have even potentially been a pivot to destroying the rest of the base. I don't know if they'll have time to do that with those waves being cleared up. We're going to see here JackeyLove great spell shield to deny the initial part of the engage, but then that opens up for the follow-up. Still, JackeyLove survives long enough that Xiaohu goes down to the equalizer from 369 and damage from Creme at the same time, but Mazel looks like they still think they have enough
the
to
Elder. Yeah, they just burned it down. They're going to the base. This is the problem with the triple marks competition. They're just barreling down Weibo. They got the Nature's Grasp. Tian goes for the engage. TES, they want to make a stamp on this one. They want to improve themselves to 3-1, and they're looking at doing up a 2-0 as Top Esports take down Weibo.
I still think there's very few realities where TES win this game, and 369 like landing that equalizer, Weibo funneling in, really was like one of the godsend. Is going to be on a bingo card, but is actually never going to be called for bingo sort of scenarios you're ever going to see.
369 rolling nines all night, it felt like, but this one in particular, he's looking big, he's looking tough, and he's looking all right on Top Esports. Feels like a journey and a half for this guy. Over on JDG, all the background, all the interviews, things we saw, he was the happy-go-lucky, he was the heart of the team, and feels like he's right back where his heart belongs with Top.